Hello everyone, welcome to Everything Football and welcome to another Champions League Fantasy Tips video. Now, obviously, I always do fantasy content in terms of Champions League and FPL content, but in this video, we're here to discuss the Champions League chips, the Champions League Fantasy chips. That's the wildcard and the limitless chip. I've seen a lot of people asking about when you should play it, how you should play it, what game week you should, what game week is best to play the chips. So we'll be discussing that and also going through what the wildcard is and what the limitless chip is. So this applies to the 2020-2021 season, 2021-2022 season, 2022-2023 season, whichever, unless the rules change. But we're here first to focus on the 21-22 season. So make sure to smash the like button. I'll really appreciate it. The channel is still new, so make sure to subscribe as well to support the channel. So wildcard and limitless chips. Very, very interesting chips, very, very important chips in your season. This could make the difference between you finishing, let's say, 5th in your mini league or 1st in your mini league. When to play it, when is the perfect time to play it. So let's go through what the wildcard chip is. So as you can see, should I make that to big screen so you can see it clearly? Let me do that. Let me do this. I think that would be better. Yep, so this is what it says. The wildcard gives you the chance to change your squad for upcoming match days. Playing it allows you to make free and limited transfers, and any players you transfer in will stay in your squad once that match day has finished. The normal rules for automatic substitutions, manual substitutions, and captain changes still apply when playing your wildcard, as well as formation constraints and the number of players you can pick from one team. If you've already made transfers ahead of a match day, and then you play your wildcard, the transfers you've made previously will be cancelled along with any points deductions. To play your wildcard, select Activate Wildcard and then confirm the transfers you'd like to make once you save your transfers. Your changes will come into effect. The chip can be used only once and can be played at any time except match day 1 and match day 7, the round of 16. When everybody gets unlimited transfers once you've played it, it can't be cancelled. So let's go through the wildcard first. So as you can see, it's different from the limitless chip. And anyone who's played any fantasy game before, you'd realize that you'd know how to use the wildcard chip by now. So obviously, you can make unlimited transfers. You can change the entire team. You can even change the entire team, save it, and still change the entire team once again, as long as it's before that week's deadline. So you can make as many changes as you want. But the difference between that and the limitless chip is for the wildcard, you only get 100 million budget. The 100 million budget still remains. You have to work within 100 million budget. So you can't just get Cristiano Ronaldo, Messi, and then you get a couple of 15 million midfielders like Salah and Mane. No, you have to work within the 100 million budget. The only difference is that the only important thing, or the only difference between that and the limitless chip, is that the budget still remains at 100 million. The wildcard, obviously, it's very important. As I said, you can't play it in match day 1 because obviously the game is just starting. Anyone can make as many subs as they want in preparation for the season. And also after the group stage, you also basically get another wildcard. Everyone gets a wildcard at the end of the group stage so that you can change your team overall, preparing for the round of 16. So when is the best time to play the wildcard chip? Is it the match day 2? Is it match day 3, match day 4, match day 5? Or is it before match day 6? Or is it after the group stage? For me, I think you have to play it in the group stage. You can even play it in game week 2. If you did not like your team in match day 1, or maybe a couple of your players picked up injuries, or you don't like what you've seen from that particular team in match day 1, you can change your team up and make at least 6 to 7 changes, however you want it. If you want to change your entire team, if you've seen a couple of players, if you've learned about a couple of players that you really want into your team, and you don't want to take a points hit, and you really want like 5, 6 different players into your team, you can play your wildcard chip. For me personally, I'd try to play my wildcard chip if I have a couple of injuries or a couple of suspensions. Like right now, Wan-Bissaka's in my team is suspended. I even had Donny van der Beek in as a punt, but I did not like what I saw in terms of getting subbed off and stuff. So I already want 2 players out. So if I also want to change my goalkeeper, or I want to take out Lukaku and bring in a Lewandowski, for example, I can play my wildcard chip. So the best time to play it, I will say maybe around match day 4. just after match day 4, before match day 5, that's when I played. So going into match day 5 and going into match day 6, I'll have my wildcard team in. So I'd say you should play it in before match day 5. That's when, let's say, you already know Bayern Munich have already won their group, or Man City have already won their group, or you already know which teams are finishing at the bottom, or you know which teams are going to be fighting for third position, maybe Europa League spot or something. That's when you can switch your team. So let's say you know Lewandowski will not be playing the last game. In the last 2 games, you could change that to another striker, maybe a Choupo-Moting there, bring him in as a punt for Bayern cover, or you want like a City have already qualified, or you don't want someone like a Jesus, and you know someone like a Grealish should be playing the final 2 games. Usually, the last 2 games, the coaches usually rotate a lot. In fact, if the team has already qualified, usually you see a lot of changes. Like, let's say, for example, United, if they've already qualified and they have like a Liverpool over the weekend, they'll probably not play Cristiano Ronaldo or Fernandes. So you can have a punt again on someone like a Donny van de Beek or a Greenwood somewhere in your wildcard team. So that, I'd say the best time to play a wildcard is match day 5 and match day 6, before match day 5 specifically. So if you have any more questions on the wildcard, just let me know. I'll be able to explain to you more and in a better way. So next up is the Limitless chip. The Limitless, this is what they say. Limitless gives you the chance to pick your dream squad for one match day only. Playing it allows you to make unlimited free transfers for that match day with no budget restrictions. So there's the difference between this and the wildcard. The wildcard, you have to work within a 100 million budget, but in this one, the Limitless chip, you have money to spend, man. You can splash the money. You can splash 300 million if you want, 1 billion if possible. We are all rich. With the Limitless chip, we are all rich, and we can spend the money however we want. Once the match day has finished, your squad will return to how it was before the Limitless chip. So that's the second difference between the Limitless chip and the wildcard. When you play a wildcard, your old team gets trashed basically, and you focus on your new team. But with the Limitless chip, I can bring on the likes of Lewandowski and Haaland for 1 week. But if I had the likes of Lukaku and Ronaldo for the previous game week, after this match week, I'll no longer have Lewandowski and Haaland. I'll be back to Lukaku and Ronaldo in my team, which is not a bad option anyway. So your team goes back to the original state, basically just like a free hit in FPL. The normal rules for automatic substitutions, manual subs, and cartel changes still apply when playing Limitless, as well as formation constraints in the number of players you can pick from one team. So you cannot pick, let's say, more than 3 players from one team in the group stage. If you've already made transfers ahead of a match day and you then play Limitless, the transfers you've made previously will be cancelled, along with any points deductions. To play your Limitless, select activate Limitless and then confirm the transfers you'd like to make. Once you save your transfers, your changes will come into effect. The chip can be used only once and can be played at any time except match day 1 and match day 7. Once played, cannot be cancelled. So with the Limitless chip, you can use however much money you want. So this could really benefit you if you're trying to get in some big hitters and you have no enough cash, or you're running out of cash. You can play the Limitless chip. I'd say the best time to play it, you have to play these chips in the group stage. I think playing it after the round of 16 in the quarterfinal or something, I think it's kind of a waste, because who will you be targeting? Let's say there's a Bayern against Liverpool, and then you're trying to get in Son and Lewandowski. Are you sure whether which team is going to win? Unless you're really guaranteed that this team is going to beat them by 3-0 or something, that's when you can play Limitless chip. So the advantage of playing the Limitless chip, or the benefit of playing the Limitless chip in the group stage, is that you can target the smaller teams. So, for example, City beat Leipzig 6-3. If they were playing, let's say, in match day 2, and you had played your Limitless chip and you had players like Ruben Diaz at the back, or you got in like a Cancelo who scored, and then you got in like a De Bruyne, if he played in that game, for example, you can just fill in with the players, or whoever expensive they are, with the players you think are going to do well. So you can get in a Haaland, you can also get in a Ronaldo, anyone you want. It doesn't matter how much money they cost. There is no budget restriction. So I'd say the best time to play the Limitless chip is either match day 2, match day 3, or match day 4. One of the three, sorry. And match day 2 is not really, I think you're still learning about that season, about that team in match day 2. So I'd say match day 3 or match day 4. Or if you don't want to target a specific match day, you can just go according to how the fixtures are lining up. So that's the next thing we're going to take a look at. how the fixtures have lined up for this season. So let's go and take a look at the fixtures for the match day 2 until match day 6. That's how you can tell when to play the limitless chip. Actually, speaking of that, I am really tempted myself to play the limitless chip in match day 2. I am very, very tempted because of the fixtures I'm seeing. So here are the fixtures for match day 2. AJAX, BESIKTAS, Inter Milan, SHAKHTAR, PSG City is a tough one, LEIPZIG, Club BRUGGE, FC Porto, Liverpool, Milan, ATLETICO, DORTMUND, Sporting, Real, Sheriff. For example, if we take a look at that, let's take a look at that, those fixtures, those first 8 fixtures in match day 2. So let's say I'm playing my limitless chip, or I'm trying to play my limitless chip. I'll be probably targeting Inter Milan players like Lautaro Martinez up front. PSG City is a tough one. Do I really want to waste my limitless chip to a game? I really don't know how it's going to end. I'd be targeting Liverpool. You can get both Salah and Mane in, even though it's an away game. Real Madrid, you can bring in the likes of Benzema in, or Gareth Bale, even both of them. Or Bayern against Dynamo Kiev, you can target 3 of their players. Lewandowski, you could bring in like a Serge Gnabry and a Sane, or one of their defenders like Kimmich. Barcelona and Benfica don't like that fixture that much. United and Villarreal, you could still fit in a Bruno Fernandes and a Cristiano Ronaldo. They lost the first game. They need to win the second game. So I'd say here there's, in terms of the expensive players you try to get into your team other weeks, maybe United against Villarreal, Bayern against Dynamo Kiev, maybe Porto against Liverpool. Let's take a look at match day 3. Let's try and compare the two, in which one I'd probably play my limitless chip in. So in match day 3, we have City against Club Brugge. I'd be targeting City players there. PSG against Leipzig. Last time Leipzig went away from home, they conceded 6. You could target Messi or Mbappe or Neymar. I also like these others are kind of tough. I also like Inter Milan against Sheriff. I also like Real Madrid against Shakhtar. Barcelona, I know they haven't been doing well, but surely Depay can get something against Dynamo Kiev. I'd be targeting United against Atalanta, and also Chelsea against Malmo, Zenit against Juventus. So the two compared, I'd say match day 3 is looking more beneficial for us. You can bring in a couple of Juventus players against Zenit. You can bring on a couple of Chelsea players against Malmo, even go with 2 of their defenders because they're really good at clean sheets. You could go for United attackers. You could go for Bayern players against Benfica, 1 Barcelona player against Dynamo Kiev, Inter Milan and Real Madrid target the expensive players, City against Bruges. I'd say match day 3 is better than match day 4. And lastly, let's take a look at match day 3 is better than match day 2. Let's take a look at match day 4. Chelsea against Malmo is a good fixture. Bayern against Benfica at home is a good fixture. And here, the good thing with match day 4, you've already seen how those teams have played against each other in match day 3. United against Atalanta away from home, a bit tricky. Juventus at home to Zenit, I'd like a Juventus player. Real Madrid at home to Shakhtar, I'd like a Real Madrid player. City against Club Brugge, I'd like a Real Madrid player as well. Man City player, PSG player there somewhere. Dortmund against AJAX, Inter Milan against Sheriff. So I'd say the best time to play your limitless chip for this season is either match day 3 or match day 4. Or again, if you really are targeting some players for match day 2 and you really want to play it right now, you can go ahead and do it. There's no really, I can only give you options, but I cannot choose for you which one you should play. So I'd say match day 2, match day 3, or match day 4. But other than that, I'd try and play my wildcard for match day 5, and I'll not play the chips after the group stage. So try and use them for the group stage. So I hope that is well explained. So again, let me know any questions you have. Let me know if you'd want any drafts for wildcard or limitless chip. When are you planning to use them? And as always, make sure to join my league so that we can compete. That's 83UV, QC, 0A, and 09. So make sure to join the league so we can compete. So that's the latest on the wildcard and the limitless chip in terms of when you're supposed to play it. Very, very interesting. It's always very competitive. If you get it spot on, you can get a bunch of points. If sometimes it does not work out, it just depends on how the fantasy gods are watching over you. So as of now, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Make sure to smash the like button. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to comment. And I'll catch up with you guys on the next one.